Oh wait, I'm muted again. Whoops. It feels like we're back to doing this again. It's a rehash of 2024. An Ace Attorney game right at the beginning of the year. Welcome to the first 2025 stream. For more, for me, for Watashi, for what can I say then? For Yo. Uh It'd be really interesting to see how things go because I have not played through the third game of this trilogy all the way through. It's my first ever mainline Ace Attorney game I haven't beaten. It's also the only mainline Ace Attorney game I haven't beaten. If you don't count like the spin-offs. But this does Apollo justice next. Now this, I'll let that thing I get into. Do, 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 do. For a second. Gameplay. Oh, all the art's gonna look like how it used to look, right? So unread text, no. Wait time is 1 second for Exile Island and autoplay. Okay, I do elements. Hide the text control window and controls guide in most locations. The story mode. Nah, ain't no chop. Oh, take me back, please. I played this game first time in high school? Do 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 do. This case is gonna be fucking long as hell. They made Phoenix way too cool. Wait, hold on. Oops. In the game. Let's go! I really like the music in this game too. Oh, stretch. Stretch again. You lose. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. Okay. I'm trying to remember who was in that conversation. Palm sweaty? Spaghetti? Oh, good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No. I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise, is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got about 5 a.m. to do my chords of steel voice workout. I'm fine. That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your search. Wait, to your screech. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. Hey, new year, new attorney. The title of my stream. Today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. You know it's bad because it's in red text. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. The man, the myth, the legend, the wizened man now. Whoa. Good morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous, meeting him, cardiac arrest. So you're fine. I'm fine. Ah, Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. And he's your friend, so why? You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. It's time, shall we? Yes, sir. The best decision I've made streaming this whole entire past year or whatever is holding off on playing this game till now because it's been so fucking long since the first, since I beat Trials and Tribulations. It's been like 6 months, if that. At the very least, it's been 4 months. And that's enough time to feel the actual, oh, 420. To feel the time change, because this is set, what, 7 years in the future, I think? The court is now in session. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is, fine, ready, Your Honor. Your name was Mr. Justice? And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a little bit strained. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always cede to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice. But to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? Hey, is that slang? I don't even know. I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Best defense attorney so far. Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the room. Here we go. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne? To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. Winston Payne, you sound like someone who has who's out for him. Ah, Winston Payne, subtle as ever, I see. How old is he now, actually? Isn't he like my age now? 33. When I started playing Ace Attorney, young Phoenix Wright was like two times as the age that I was. I was playing Ace Attorney probably in like middle school. Maybe the first year of high school? No, maybe it was middle school, if that, right? And he was 26. Now I'm playing Apollo Justice again for the second time or third time completely through. And now, the older Phoenix Wright is only 2 years older than me. My God, does time fly? Vincent Payne, though, still fucking old. The crime occurred at the Borched Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, the customer, and hit him, wham, on the head, smack, killed him cold. The customer at the restaurant, you say, and the defendant, you say he was the pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright, a pianist? This is the weapon that took the victim's life, a bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right, I've heard of that. Use R to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, just use R. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. Alright. So, what do we have? Victim's name is Shady Smith. You know that's not his actual name, but whatever. April 17th, the time of death. Between 1:45 a.m. and 2:15 a.m. Cerebral hemorrhaging resulting from blunt trauma to forehead. Okay. Let's see the death person. Okay. We have that. We have the cards on the ground. Something about that was important to me in this case. I remember that from when I first played this. We have the bottle. I think we can get another photo at some point. We have a deadly bottle. I can expect it. Okay. And there's nothing inside. But just who was this Shady Smith fellow? We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years, yet only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. Ah, like Nosferatu. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant? That too is unclear at the present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borched Bowl Club on the night of the crime. They had only just met them why murder. Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing? That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, then would have had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let the photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself. Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. So in this world, gambling is illegal. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs read the blue flame, know its final outcome. The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present. An impressed woman. That'd be our first order of business here then. To find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. My one thing is that they take this cool-ass Phoenix Wright, and then they don't make him this fucking cool again. But also because you don't see him later on. You just see him from the... I think you do see him from, like, first-person view, like, of him as his motto or whatever. But, like, he never is this fucking suave. Ever again. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game, and our customers are happy. A pianist who can't play piano? Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Asshole. Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? Huh? Huh? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. Dude, Justice and I are both feeling sick. That's great. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times, but you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? Nah, I'm good. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered. I think you'd better do more than think. You know it, or you do not. The cords of steel are ready for battle. My weapons, press and present. Present. Yeah. Finding inconsistencies and any lies in the testimony and reveal them to the court. That is a cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Defense may begin the cross-examination. Okay. You can hold the play, or play sometimes when customers demand it. So I play them one song, that's all they want. That's usually all they want. The title of the pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large. Who are you really at? You're at the Boris Bowl Club. Oh god, the UI at the top. Ugh. 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 They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all. Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hardworking member of society like me to imagine. Yes. Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. Hey, you can't say that about me. Oh, I mean him. Yeah, you can say that about him. I've played poker for 7 years in that little room. And I've never lost once. What? You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. But you've never lost once, not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. Oh, I know why. Oh, I remember why. Okay. Yeah. I was like, how the fuck is he? What's the secret? I was like, I remember his secret now. All right. The room where we play. Okay. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction. It has quite a history, actually. The Boris Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Gosh, the game is hiccuping a little bit. Black market? All in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. About that. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. A smoky room, gambling hoods, you know. Just looking at this picture makes you feel bad. Why did I say it like that? The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they'd come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. Okay. 2 decks of cards. A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely, cards on the table, cards upon the floor, each one form a complete deck. Crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we use 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, a game of hands. Okay. It's competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right, it was a simple game after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Well, not by people who are like all, have all their mental faculties, obviously. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that the crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime? Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear that cry of objection from the defense. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right, there's something I'd like made clear, namely your connection to the case at hand, and I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony. I pled silence regarding the murder, but I would say I never touched the murder weapon. Objection. Hey, I got an award for that. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon, this grape juice bottle, right? So I said. Something the motto, Mr. Justice? Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears and our case. Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? That's true, the prints alone don't prove they did it. Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were not normal fingerprints, huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Upside down? What does that mean? It means he was holding the bottle inverted. There's only one reason to do that. Yep. Yes. To brain someone with the bottle. I've never heard it be called brain. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything, you'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that... Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by the call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in the basement 2 floors down from the ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from inside the house. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see, and this is the phone that made the call. Okay. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative? I think the prosecution has toyed with a client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you no one is more serious about... What was it that you said? The defendant was in the room at the very moment the crime occurred. How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are. Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? I surmise that she has been frightened by the defendant's demonic-looking horns. What horns? Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. Are you sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please, come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you're sure it is okay. Now, the prosecution. Wait a minute. Will the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia? Yes. She's a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be, my name is Olga Orly. I wonder what that's a... Olga Orly. Is that a name pun? Orly? Olga? I can't think of it. I'm employed as I'm employed as waitress in Borscht Bowl Club restaurant. Then why the camera? Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is naming restaurant. But I also perform, how it is said, other service. I take it one of those other services is taking the customer's pictures? Like, for example, this one. That's the defendant? Indeed, on the night of the murder. Man in white hat is one who has got kaput. Indeed, that is the victim. Water. Water! We will have water! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. Is it really? Is it really that important? It is the same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers. Casually. And the court will casually accept this new evidence. Okay. Missing the locket. He has the locket here. White has the locket now. Those are the bottles of grape juice right there. I think we're gonna do something later on where they talk about the fact that he's gonna pick up the grape juice to pick it up out of the box, and when you take the grape juice out of the box, you can pick it up as if you're picking it from the bottom. You can be picking it up as if you're picking it up from, like, your fingerprints can be reversed, which would explain why his fingerprints would be on the bottle. Okay, I can't remember that thing for later on. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in the room. The hideout, we call it. Excuse me, the hideout? It is a room where a famous gangster bad guy, fuck me, was arrested. It's a room where a murder took place. Your look of utter surprise, it is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. The photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want copy of. If I doesn't kill her. Very well. Witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. The victim, he played his whole time with his hand and locket at his neck. Then last hand is done, but something terrible has happened to Da. That man flew at victim and strangling him to death. What? Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious the winner is the victim, Mr. Smith? That's ridiculous, because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice, maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection, but he hadn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid, it happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These are the poker chips as they lie on the very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on the side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say? Duh, I mean, yes, imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils. I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. Poker face, yeah. Looking at this picture, it does seem like the most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Okay. Okay, hold on. It does seem that way too here. Okay. Should I press everything? I have time. If I'm doing this case, I will have time. You are dealing cards. Do you do this often? Duh, I'm doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht. It is my work. It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitress. Waitresses or waitress? Waitresses. Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination. Both players play with the hats on. Okay. Yep, they both. He has his hat on. Okay. It's already April. How could it be cold? At Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride in an authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside the city is spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia. When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, Dot. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. His locket? I believe it was good luck charm, Dot. He gripped it many times as he played that night. Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and stars. Though if it was small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much fit. The defense will lay a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about. I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket. Of course, I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter what shape. Okay. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. So what happened next? Then the last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. Okay? Something terrible? The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry. Now, Miss Orley, can you tell us what happened? I was so frightened. Duh, I trembled with fear. The man threw at victim and is strangling him to death. Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Duh, normal customers only choke on borscht. No, I mean, this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's is still wearing his hat and everything. Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit. But I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at victim, his neck. Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in the testimony that troubles me. Very well, it seems we should continue this cross-examination. This horse is dead, let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. Oh, sorry.
Objection!
What? What? Bullshit. On the first case? God damn it. God green, god damn it.
Hold it!
Hold on, what the fuck? What am I forgetting? The battery is being held with a piece of tape. Oh, I think that comes into play, the fact that he's still using his old phone. Two aces, three kings. Two aces, two aces. Why are the face down cards like that? Or did you flip them around? And that clears up the discrepancy with the autopsy report, I believe. The defendant made to strangle his victim, then changed his mind, and chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. Yes, that sums it up nicely. Strangled him and then hit him. Something's fishy about all this. Go ahead, I believe you know what it is you need to do. Leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shadi Smith, Mr. Wright, and... If Mr. Wright isn't the killer, I've got you now, Ollie. Your cards for the game. Okay. Let's go play with the hats on. Hat removed during investigation. Oh, don't you fucking tell me. Oh my god, don't tell me.
Objection!
Oh, fuck off. Oh, fuck off. See, they're gonna talk about the fact that, you know, he doesn't have his locket on, right? Because, you know, Wright has the locket right now. I don't know if you can see it in this picture. You can't. But Wright has that locket. And he had this guy, the victim, had the locket here, as I mentioned before, and now he doesn't have the locket. I tried presenting this to be like, he doesn't have the locket. But they wanted me to present this that said that he doesn't have the locket. Both pictures show the same thing, but this one just shows it more clearly. God fucking damn it. What does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on his locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Look at this graph! Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does that mean? We're to believe this witness's testimony as is, and the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. The locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no? Taking it off? Wait, you don't mean the defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Say, yes. I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Oh, you mean this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Come again? Mr. Wright, bullshit. You have a daughter? We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. Well, I guess technically not bullshit. Technically. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. Well, now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game. Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost, badly. Miss Orley, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant. Da. The game began with 3,500 point-in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, Da, was the victim. For last hand, defendant play all chips on table and lose. The moment lost was decided. Defendant grabs bottle from table and... okay. It does seem to be a one-sided game. The court knows poker was the defendant's life. Phelan must have been a bitter pill to swallow. I think I remember they're going to talk about how the fact that the black chips are actually worth less than the red chips. I've done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and I now regret what I've done. A common tale, but true. Okay. Doof. Gaming, okay. Alright. Are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game, usual rules. If man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be exactly 7,000 points. Clavier Gavin is just like, is Clavier? Is that his name? Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Da, of course. Okay. Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder? Press harder. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips? Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip of the old block. Not a motorcycle cop, but thanks. I should try to ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even? Yet. As I've been saying before, it was a game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. Oh boy. Two types of chip. 100 point chip and 1,000 points chip. It is not money, Da. Justice. Sir, don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I have it added to her testimony myself. Well, does the defense want this to add to her testimony? Yes. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Added to the testimony. Very well, witness, if you would be so kind. Da, Your Honor. One kind of chip is worth 100 points, the other kind is worth 1,000 points. Two kinds in all. Hold on. Okay. That's 4,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the small chips have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Objection!
There we go. All right. So yeah, I remembered it correctly. You sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure. It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. Glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won if you're not in kindergarten. Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. Here I go. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the bigger ones, of course, duh. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips, and the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, if my calculations are correct. Let's see, 3 plus 1 carry the 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. It is impossible for the black chips to be worth 1,000 points, because there'd be too many chips on the field, it'd be over 7,000 points total. If the big chips are worth 1,000 and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up, how much is it? 10,600 points. The chips just don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Both of these are right. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If the chips are all indeed shown in the photograph, then there can only be one answer. Well, what is what? The value of the chips was the other way around. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness, utter madness. Show me that photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Okay, so that's 6 times 1,000, so that's 7,000. And then that's 10 times 1,000. No, 10 times 100, which is 1,000, and 1,000 plus 6,000 is 7,000. So it adds up. That does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. But wait, the value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Oh, wait, here we go. Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. So let's do the math right now. We'll do it already probably themselves, but we can do it ourselves anyway. So, right had 4,100, and the victim had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2,900. So Wright was kicking this guy's ass. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points, and the defendant had 4,100 points. Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible. My client even had less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning. Now, Miss Orley, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime, weren't you? Order, order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. We must now ask ourselves whether we can trust the— Excuse me, what is it, Miss Orley? I did not want to be saying this, but actually you see, see what, Miss Orley? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheat. A cheat? You don't mean a trick? Wait, or do you mean a scam? Yes, there was a cheat in the last hand. That's why the game ends with chips as they are. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. For the interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. The last hand, both men had full house. There was 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, and the game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand, poor Smith. Miss Orley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? There's more to cover up here. A full house is not easy to make in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Hold on, what evidence do I have? Do I have the decks? Dun, 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 dun. 3 sevens and 2 aces. 3 kings and 2 aces. But they used 2 decks. What's a full house? Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker? You can't say this bodes well for your case or career. Wait, you all just talking about how gambling's fucking illegal or something, and then you're getting on my ass for not knowing poker. Shut the fuck up. Justice. You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number make a pair, and 3 makes 3 of a kind. Good, now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. Doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. Wow, they both have full houses. We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Okay. The last hand, both men had full house. Alright. But how hard is it to make a full house anyway? It is quite hard, Da. It is making a pair and 3 of a kind at the same time. I guess that's right. Very difficult to be sure. You can take my word as the poker hand of courtroom number 3. Very difficult, Da, but it is not impossible. Okay, but if it's not impossible, then it's still gonna happen. There's 4 of each card in the deck from ace to king. 4 of each card, you say. Da, there is 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 club for each card. It is an interesting fact that this number 4 comes from the number of seasons. Huh, you don't say. Just like how there's 52 cards, and that's why there's like 52 weeks. All the cards in the deck and you get 364 a year. Huh, you don't say. Isn't that 1 day short? That's why each deck has 2 jokers. They said the second joker stands for the leap year. Thus you have a perfect representation of the year, all in our deck of cards. I'm not... Is that true? I need to look that up. I'll look that up afterwards. You don't say.
Hold it!
Okay. That, well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace. A 5th ace? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces. And Wright's 2. Obviously cheating was afoot, or perhaps I should say a hand. Wait, what? Hold on. What? What? Can you guys math? There's like 4 aces on the field. You want perhaps this can be added to the testimony without Mr. Payne's joke? Very well. The witness will add this detail to her testimony, please. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces, Mr. Wright's 2. That's 5 aces and all. Okay. All right. Yeah. Bullshit. It appears the witness is mistaken. Mistaken about my name. Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice, perhaps you ought to explain the point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony?
Take that!
Miss Orley, in your testimony, you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. About that, but you can clearly see the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. Only 2 aces. Take a look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see a cheating, alright, and it's going on right here in this courtroom. That would have sounded cool if I didn't stutter that. 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating. Though not... No, what's I looking for? Not that probable, it is possible. Wait, please, it is true, I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. That's odd. She seems to be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin, who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? You don't mind? Perhaps you might examine the actual cards. The cards? Mr. Payne. Yes? The player's hands that night were aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? Probably, if it's cheating, it would probably be the defendant's hand. Right? The defense would like to view the defendant's hand. Very well. Mr. Payne, your evidence. Yes, Your Honor. Well now, let's see what we have here. Right, sir. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles by using right stick to turn it and okay, I don't think we have that. Card backs are red. Didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Oh, which was it now? Well, has the defense found anything they would like to share with the court? Or should you best examine the victim's cards next? Which can always give these cards another look. Yes. Your Honor, the defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's hand. Granted, but make it quick, Mr. Justice. Justice is always swift. Haha, in your world. And hello. What are you doing there, Miss Odd One Out? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color. What? That's impossible. I put that card in red. Oh. What was that, Miss Orley? No, yeah. I merely said I have Your Honor. Mr. Gavin, yes. Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Wait, so you mean this witness, Miss Orley, she's the cheater, a professional item wager. Order. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. There we go. Mr. Olga Oli conspired to cheat not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Oli, are you? And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means... What does that mean, The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Oli, of murder. Mr. Payne, where is your witness, Miss Olga Oli? Appears she has lost her consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice. Your Honor, it seems you've presented a new possibility to the court, one suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I see the point in prolonging the trial this day. Prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Mr. Wright? You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think, one of the cards had a different so-called back. Different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous. Mr. Payne, you of all people should know, Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. I testified a bird, okay? I cross-examined a fucking bird. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks of the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You use different colors and they still might get mixed up? We used the red deck for the last game. I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Whatever, in the end of... there we go. That's the thing. That's the thing that we got them on. Someone earlier on, the beginning of this case, talked about using blue cards. Paula was like, I'm sure someone said something about blue cards, and somebody did say something about blue cards. Whatever, in the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix, which means there was cheating. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raised 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes. Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped? There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When were the cards swapped into the deck? It would be after the murder, because she made a comment about how it was swapped into that deck, right? So she was like, Oli was like, I put that card in the victim's deck, in the defendant's deck. Why is it in the victim's deck? This means it was swapped out at a different point. So after the murder. That's happened after the murder? What? Ridiculous. What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly. Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly things in this world, but very little impossible. Even when the backs of the cards are a different color, if you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight onto crazy. I'll ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game is over? Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another? Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the room, alive that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga Orley. Okay, who was it that swiped the red card from blue? Someone else. The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Orley either. What are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point. Yes, I know, but she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it would be obvious. Something you would like to share with the court? Something you'd like to share with the class, young man? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun all this is. Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card isn't the defendant and wasn't Miss Orley, then who was it? Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that indeed, after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand, and that someone made 2 critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card. because the one who did the swap didn't know 2 colors of card were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right, the person replaced the 5th ace with a king. So whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a 5th ace after all. And they knew that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. True, not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a 4th person. Although it's more than a possibility, there was someone else that night at the scene of the crime. I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial proceeded on one central assumption, namely that the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well, the trial will resume in 20 minutes. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. Suddenly claim that there was another person at the scene of the crime like that? I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sally, I have no time for mysteries. I'd only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Oh, it's Kristoff, his brother's clavier. Justice? Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to this chamber, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? You writing about the victim's disappearing locket? Here, you can take a look at it. It's a picture of my daughter in there. I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. So was I. And so as we found out more, it gets even more complicated. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago. What if I did? What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never, honest, but... Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like the court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding. That witness, for instance, Miss Orley, she would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No, I did not, actually. Words, habits, twitches, it's all information for the reading, and I should know that because I know that this game relies on that. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. You just don't know it yet. Huh. But you will, soon. Almost forgot. One more thing. About this case. You should know I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there defending me. I need your power. My own power. It's time. Did he know? Did he know back then? The real trial begins now. Do your best. Did he know at the beginning of this game? Huh. How would he know that information? I mean, it's been 7 years. Well, we'll see how this goes, because Yes. 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 Alright. Court will now reconvene. As our witness, Miss Olga Early, recovered. Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regaining consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again? That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. That's why I'm playing this game with a stomach hurt. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. Very well, the witness will take the stand. Is she still looking like how she... Okay, yeah. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. There we go. There we go. Name's Olga Oli. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick Fingers Oli. Oh? Well, really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my name sounds like, oh, really? Huh. There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Witness, you would tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. She's touching her hair now. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Boris Pro Club several days prior to the night of the game, as a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help, Smith was a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When the hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped cards. You cheater! Cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater! Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed! Getting caught one-handed at cheating would cast doubt on all his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. How droll. But it appears you have made quite the mistake. I agree the trap was elegant, yet what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be to slip free of a trap. You'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers Orly. Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. Alright, okay there, lady. Okay, alright. When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. Ooh. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. The Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottom and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith, it was that no-good cheating defendant. Okay. Ooh, that was a nice yawn. Okay. Okay. Look at her. Wait. Isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. There we go. Because he pointed out, oh, when she does that thing with her hand, putting her hand in the back of her head. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. It's time for our main mechanic of the first Apollo Justice, we'll say. What are you talking about? But honestly, I like this mechanic more than the Magatamas. This is my favorite mechanic of the 3 mechanics that have been introduced so far. Will be introduced by the end of this trilogy. That are present at the end of this trilogy. Because there's the Magatama, there's this, and then there's Athena Sykes' one, which is kind of okay. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it honest. I saw it when Wright hit him. With my own eyes, I saw it. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? It's time for a vibe check! A witness, for instance, Miss Orley, she would touch the back of her neck, oh yeah, during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? Slow down the music. Okay. What's happening? Whoa, what's going on? The sensation is coming into focus. There, that twitch, it's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. This is honestly pretty fucking cool.
Gotcha!
It's just good observation. Miss Orley, perhaps you're unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of that testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. Not to try to do it myself. A memory? It's kind of the moment. I can see that being portrayed as that. Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Perhaps you have evidence of this memory to show us? The habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her the most of the moment of the crime? Miss Orley, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I notice it happens whenever you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe that weapon that left an inerasable impression. I believe the weapon it left an inerasable impression on your neck is this. What's the necklace? Sorry to disappoint, I don't have any particular memories of that. Of course not. Show you a habit. Haha. I guess it really is this. What? What? Is it not the necklace? It's actually the weapon itself. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. It reminds me more of the moment than this bottle, the murder weapon. Like the neck of the bottle. But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's she talking about now? Oh, I see, because it's supposed to be a contradiction, not support the evidence of it. It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you. This is a cross-examination, not a wild conjecture. The witness's habits are completely irrelevant. Justice. I'll admit I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later, just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss Orley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Yet, no, nothing. Oh. Bullshit. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please, now. Fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there.
Objection!
Okay, well, that was easy. Miss Orley, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made the phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Club. Which, I just want to say, I want to shorthand that, but I really don't want to shorthand that. So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. I wonder how that can be. Perhaps maybe you were incapacitated? The man who picked up the bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. Going back to the beginning of this case trial episode. Showdown time. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets now. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Oh! Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to right, and he hit me. You some master of cheating you turned out to be. When I came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, now you are a suspect. Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I am dreaming. Why am I sounding a little bit like Christopher Walken? It must have been me who was hitting in the bottle and imagining all of this. It appears the prosecution is at its end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin? Sir? I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orley a big fat liar. What? We were in that room the night of the murder, the defendant, the victim, and her, and she has a motive. A motive? A plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with a client, Mr. Smith. The denouement, the denouement of that argument was murder. I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. That's a nice poetry right there. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright? It's a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility, that there was another person in the room at the time of the murder? A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder, and the one who swapped the card didn't know two colors of the card which were being used. A fourth person. This theory again, your fourth person doesn't exist. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court, here where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck, a clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us, and right at the beginning of the trial, no less. Here we go! Apollo, perhaps you would know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said. The fourth person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color of the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there was one person here in our court who thought the cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear. Who is the fourth person? Think about it. Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Here we go. As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? I think the first time I played this game, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Christoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. Well, of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue and the ones on the floor and on the table. But look, you can see the colors in this photo. Yes, but when he said the colors were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. Yep, it is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. It was only that, a game with the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent cast of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Well, Christoph? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right, you aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph? You know even I'd never take a joke this far. But this has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond Tom. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. Well, what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There was a possibility after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is the truth Mr. Wright was silent about? Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. The defense would like to request no such thing. Christoph, shut the fuck up. Mr. Gavin, testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before the game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orley... Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Hear the fucking testimony. I'm sorry, boss, but I'm throwing you under the bus. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. At 2, Justice, you would betray me, your teacher? I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Charlie Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Mrs. Smith hit the witness. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That was when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Boat Club the night of the murder? I dined with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? That's because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears I was wrong. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice. Sir, he's lying and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Yeah, that's what cross-examiners are usually for. My two dads are fighting. Okay. He's at the table in this photograph. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the Borsbourg Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual. As usual. I always eat at the table closest to the piano. I see. Where was Smith still? Where Mr. Smith was sitting. So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner? Indeed, the remnants of my meal with Kristoff. Okay. We dined for 2 hours and then Kristoff left. After that, dining for 2 hours. Oh, I guess you were talking. Cherry Smith went in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time? That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it that you said? Kristoff Gavin and Cherry Smith may have met. I believe I did say that. He was all nervous about this meeting, and now we hear they just passed in the hall? It does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be if that were all that really happened. I forgot if we found out the information about how they evolved in this case or in the last case. I want to say the last case. Where the trap failed Smith with the waitress. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Ogre mentioned. Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a crook of fate that I happened to discover it. A crook? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was a 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something that might happen, so I disposed the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice that had been drinking right beside me. Threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice. The murder weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. That sounds like a terrific drama. That's strange. Didn't the police miss it in the investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Okay. Discover the trap during the game and dispose the card in the bottle. Present the bottle, which is fucking empty. Okay. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. No. What, Mr. Wright? Surely isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out? Oh, and a 6th person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. What's inside that bottle? There is nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue your cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Push him harder, Justice. Break him! Just like you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. The girl's not that cold, and Mr. Smith was uncontrollable. I'll have to call the police. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there, in that darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. On return, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. And when he returned, the victim was already dead. Yes, I'll admit I was a little startled when I walked in. A little? He was bleeding from his forehead after all. Huh. Wait a second. Ooh, almost presented the wrong thing.
Objection!
There you go. Mr. Wright, if I may, yes? Take a look at this photograph. Take a look at this graph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? Ah, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. You? You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph. And I picked this hat up from the floor and put it on his head. Why did you do a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry, but that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, Mr. really didn't see it? It being the victim's, his head? I think not, she was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon, it just seems that a client is determined to lie his way through the case. I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin, the witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled, I haven't told a single lie yet. Here. When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with Defense Attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Kristoff, this is technically illegal evidence. It's, it's not the defense or the prosecution coming forth with its evidence and it's the witness, but since he's half defense in terms of not being an attorney but being like an honorary attorney and how he's acting right now, we're skirting the line. Kristoff, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please, the cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Bone china plate. A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but pate. I believe it was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second, something's not right about that phone call. How would he know what his head looks like if his hat is supposed to be on? So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borch Bowl Club. Most certainly. Then, how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate? Oh, that's right. Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. That's a good fucking catch that he did on him. That's a fucking good ass catch that he did on him. And I spotted Mr. Smith's head again. I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix Wright. Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne! Yes, Your Honor? I believe this court has been left with no other choice. I prepared to hear the defense attorney Gavin's testimony. Well, as a prosecutor, Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes, after which Mr. Gavin will take a stand for cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this? May I? It's the girl! It's Trudy! Hello, sir. Please pick a card. Is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely and the game is yours. That's all. An ace. Where do I remember that card from? This is 3 aces and it's 2. It's 5 aces. I've seen it. The 5th ace. The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. This blood-stained card is my trump card for fighting the truth. Oh. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Will the witness state his name and occupation? Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Once again, I have cross-examined a parrot. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it. Back in the fucking defendant's spot. They play his music too. I forgot about that. I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright, what do you think you're doing, Wright? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Oh, when Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. And you know the funny thing is, you can confirm that if you use that dealer lady, because she probably would be like, he never took his hat off. In other words, I must be the real killer. Is that what you're trying to say? Not bad, Apollo. Mr. Gavin, I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Very well, allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead as he appeared in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. So you witnessed the murder? For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, I remind you that you were on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright, you had to say that, because that was the only probable window of opportunity, right, Apollo? Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. Okay. Let's talk about the window. Little window, you mean the one used to keep the watch up from the stairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The black marketers used it, I believe. Why'd you go through all the trouble peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you see. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes, what if my fears had been unfounded? I'd be walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least. Okay. It's been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead as he appears in the photo. Okay. By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene? Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead. Then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat. Who described the scene of the crime for us. Okay. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime? Yes, as far as I saw at least. Then we're back to where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police? 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. I just said I saw no one, not a soul. That goes against what Mr. Wright said. Yes, this mysterious fourth person, who would eventually be the real killer, I suppose. Glad to see you agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary? Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. Let's try this. Then go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why the killer take out the 5th ace? Are we really doing this? Are we doing this right here? Right now? My reason is, this. Is that an ace? Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade. What? This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be the missing 5th ace? Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borsbourg Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock and trade, after all. Impossible, unacceptable. A court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime. Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo, at the victim's head. The moment of the crime, his hat fell onto the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose the killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible. Oh? Right, regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years you used to be a lawyer, you know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is I answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see. This is baseless conjecture. Baseless. Oh, I assure you it's quite based. There we go. Ah, there we go. That's the fucking thing right there. That's the fucking money shot right there. That's the fucking... Oh, hold on a second. Shift. I'm just gonna fucking capture this for later. Exit. I'm just gonna capture this for later because that is a badass line. Okay. Okay, let's go put this on the side. Alrighty, and there we go. Oh, hydrate. Oh, thank you, thank you. Let me just get my drink. Oh, how long was that hydrate message there? Oh. I need this too for my stomach. What? Uh-oh. 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 Hold on. Give me a second. I would be careful doing that. Close. Open this up again. Oopsies. Oops. Oops. Oopsie daisies. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. Audio and video got unsynced when I did that. Whoops. It still got unsynced. God damn it. Oh no, we can't. Oh, properties. Deactivate. Activate. Oh, I fucked up the audio. Audio only. I think I fucked that up. Hold up. Oh, for a while, lol. Oh, noes. Oh, no. I picture the scene of crime in your head. Okay, well, I'm just gonna do this for now. Let's see if I can find a way to fix this. How do I fix this? If I unplug. I think that's better. Fuck! How do I fix it when audio gets desync? I can't tell if that's me or Body of the Luckless one was found at the table. And before the killer swapped the card out, the sync card of blood on the victim's hand. Given this, there's one decisive problem with the scene. What is it? Is it that you can't hear it? Oh no, it's so, I'm not sure how it is for stream. Maybe the stream is on point, but everything for me is desynced just a few, like a second or like a millisecond after, like I can't say half a second, like half of a second after what I'm saying. So I can hear everything, but like if I do this, like the audio stops after it should be stopping. So it's off by like a smidgen. And I can't tell, like, I'm not sure if it's for chat, if it's like that as well for you, Ichigo. But like, let's get simple. Sorry, given that there's a drop of blood on a card, notice that when I hit the next button to talk, notice when the sound effect starts playing in terms of when the text is coming up, and notice if the sound effect stops before, after, or during the conversation. And that's the problem. No, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses. Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card?
Take that!
The second witness's position is the problem. The second witness, that would be Mr. Gavin, yes. And I can't tell if I fix it by, if I were to fix it by, it seems synced for the stream, so then it's just me then, okay. Fine. The second witness's position is far less problematic than yours right now, Justice. Okay, well, I guess we could play with this for now then. I'll take the hit. Or perhaps perilous is a better word. Yeah, so for me, for example, this is easier. The small text right there where it says UG, it finished, and then the text of the UG finished like maybe like a second after that. Yeah, it's like about half a second to a second afterwards. And I can't tell if, well, actually what I could do, if that's the case for me, and that's what I'm hearing, go to my, where's I've got audio coming from? Properties. Oh fuck, I fucked up that too. No! Want me to do a test clip? It's fine. I think, oh wait, if I can just, oh, volume, it should be, that's interesting, by the way, huh? Sync offset, 2 milliseconds. Let's try something. And go to, let's type in just 100. Okay, so go to sync properties, sync audio, so sync audio properties. Let's change this to -1000 or -100. Let's see if that works. We'll be getting enormous. Yes, get food. I'll be doing this for a split second. Or at the beginning of the year and getting this audio problems. Audio properties, it's back to being 0. I've got audio. Oh, wait. I'm doing the wrong thing. Okay. Read it this way. So there's a drop on the card. Doesn't fit. Well, the victim, obviously. I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You think any blood would fall on behind the body, not onto the table in front of him? Take a look at the photo again. And if it bled in this position, the blood would have fallen onto the floor, not on the cards. Why not that fix my own? Yeah, really good. So I'll just do negative 1,000. Negative 900. Nope, still doesn't fix it. So it is just me. Damn. I know how to fix it too. I just don't want to have to. It's like off by like a second or two. Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna have to reset this computer after this. Fuck. Well. Oh well. You're sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs. Oh man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. The chair was facing the other way? It would have to be. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know that the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again, let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of this crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witness. Whose location requires a contradiction, the victim was facing away. Well, wouldn't it also just be this guy? Because, come on. Good job, but the victims are killers. The witness. Will it be the victims again? You said you saw a bloodied head. You would still see the bloodied head, right? Unconscious girl. It wouldn't contradict me, would it? Wouldn't it be right, would it? What doesn't make sense is the second witness. You mean to say I don't make sense? Oh, no, of course you do. No, sir. As I thought. Gosh damn it. It's a little hard of hearing. Did you say something? Would you be so kind enough to show the court one more time what you mean? Apollo, whose question I have conflicts in your understanding of the crime? Well, I mean, the killer, right? Because how are you playing a game with you if you're facing the opposite way? The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front, sitting where his indicator currently is? You'd think it would be quite hard, yes. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game? I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. What? There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, the victim, was struck here while sitting here, showing here. Then where his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram. But there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry, let's think this through and let's see it through and see what happens. You know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. It's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. You had to be standing, here. You get points for flair, but that's about all you can get. I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible if it was facing a solid cupboard. Are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? Simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime, wait, I know, the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. This means to examine the cupboard at the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Ah, Your Honor, what? There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes. I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. God, he's so cool in this. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, and the cupboard wasn't here, which means Apollo try moving the cupboard. It would move over to the right, the left, which will block the view, so which means Kristoff couldn't look in. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been shown here. Everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this? What's this now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe is the final contradiction, in fact. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is radically approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Okay, now, it's you. Because you can't see through a mirror if it's blocked, the window if it's blocked. About this cupboard, are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. That's right, someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What did you say? Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, White. It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order. This is a court of law and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigative team at the Boar's Boat Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? Oh, you're back. Okay. So, while you were gone, we have discovered by moving around stuff in the evidence. Let's see if we still have a picture, right? Oh, we don't. Okay. Turns out that he was facing the opposite way, and there's a cupboard behind him moves over to the left. We'll have to find that out. And because it moved over to the left, it blocks Kristoff's. It would block Kristoff's testimony of him saying that he looked in the little window because the window would have been blocked by the cupboard. And he's about to say, Your Honor, it turns out there is a secret passage behind it. Ah, yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in legal goings-on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. If the room has a secret passage, where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses would get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. I'm about 75–80% done with this case. You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone would have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? What do you say? Is he gonna say that he walked in there? Dare I ask what really happened that night? Because I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith, a date with Destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. Miss Olga Early was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. The killer stepped out from the secret passage into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. The single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he did, he might have noticed the cards on the floor, and the fact that they were all red. Oh yeah, now I definitely know the audio was off. And well, it seems this trial has taken another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor? The prosecution will continue its investigation. As to Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately. Last round. Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber will be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicion? This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And how does anyone else but me, his own defense attorney? Illegal evidence? Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin, is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking. How do you intend to explain that away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court in this case demanded an explanation. I can only think of one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down, and that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor? See how the caught fish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo? Yes? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still, but I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation, just like that. Yeah, just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight. Which I said earlier on. It would be too hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice? Don't worry, Justice won't leave until justice is done. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints are on the bottle upside down?
Take that!
It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me? On the floor? Yes. Now, reach down and pick it up. Without getting out of your chair. Ah. Yep. See, you naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. Defendant Mr. Wright sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. You have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Can't believe it was that simple. Recall a dinner that evening, Kristoff. I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed, but then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Mr. Gavin. We have saved these charges, Mr. Gavin. Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottle. Where is your proof? Proof? Well, that's, as I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Yes, I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borch Bow Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if any were on that but his. That bottle wouldn't be a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright, that bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? Oh, look at that. There's something inside the bottle. What's this? That card. It can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga Early? Yes, a little swiddling Devotchka. Did I say that right? Devotchka? That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? When you mentioned this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped, and the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. Technically, couldn't have you done it as well? You, Mr. Kristoff Gavin. Me when I lose my 50-50s. That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete? Right. This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? Shut the fuck up. Get out of here. No one likes you, Pain. I believe this time we finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? Did he? We'll get to that. None that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter, as of this moment. About this victim, Mr. Sadie Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. Our profession to be sure, and that all we know about him. Yes, interesting. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Good. Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. The second was a man who wouldn't tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty of being lame. Yippee! Court is adjourned. Round 1. Done. Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you, Your Honor? Ability. Or didn't you, your ability? Ability? Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. I have one question for the witness then. Oh yeah. Just flashback, I don't say it usually. What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer? Right. Today was full of questions without answers, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Well, that reminds me, I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. Your daughter, right? That's right, she's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. It's called your gut, Apollo. It's called having the vibes. It's called going with your feeling. You know, you're right about this locket. Yeah? I took this off his neck the night he died, but it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury. You testified, you said that locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I may have said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Office's office, after all. Apollo, how about coming to work for me? You mean at the Wright and Cole law offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but wait, but didn't you're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in the court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? Talking about the evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. It seemed, well, too perfect.
Take that!
You mean this, don't you? I got this from your, daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left. Leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. Courtroom can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then you really are... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? Ow. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling, "Take that!" next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first try ended. A lot of mysteries. I made my boss be guilty. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Which is the best thing about this case. This game. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'll find that out soon enough. Well, actually, no, the second case, not so much, I think. This is how my story begins. But the third case, definitely. Save my current progress? Yes. Do I continue? If it's 2 days to that, it expects it'll be a long ass stream, but so that's possible. I mean, I'm planning to play this for the rest of the month, so I can take it easy. Okay, yeah, we're gonna stop for today. I could continue on because I wanted technically from 5 to 9, but I really do have a little bit of a stomach issue, which is probably because of drinking and not getting that much sleep. But we will find another person to raid. In the meantime, I'll be back with this anyway tomorrow. We'll start case 2 and make our way probably like halfway through. Because if we're playing more tomorrow than we did today, we're playing 4 hours, we'll make it like at least halfway through. And then next week we'll finish it off and then start case 3. And the week after that we'll do all of case 3, and then we have a lot of time to do case 4. My plan is to play through each of these games in the span of a month. Although some may take a little bit longer. I'm looking at you, Spirit of Justice. and you dual destinies. It has like 20,000 fucking cases. All right, including deal. Both of them, both of the two cases have what's it called? Both have oops, the one thing. DLC. Have DLC attached to them, which is the DLC cases to do. But who are we gonna go say hi to? Who is perhaps streaming right now? That's a little bit. There we go. Add cases left and right. Oh yeah, we go rest up for but thank you. I will. I might go to sleep earlier than I usually do. I think tomorrow's gonna be a busy day anyway for me at work, so. Oh, let's go say hi to. Let's go say hi to Gashi Crystal. Crystal can. You got the right one? Yeah, I did. Okay. Let's go say hi to them. Maybe. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, so tomorrow, I said before, tomorrow I will be doing more of this. I'm probably gonna try and do like one, at least two Ace Attorney streams a week, amongst other things. I may eventually slow down, but we'll see. I may actually be able to just do one, depending on if I make them longer and whatnot. But so I have one more tomorrow, and then I think I start playing Myst on Saturday, which is gonna be fun, even though I know I'm gonna get stuck a lot. Until then, though, I may actually just hit the raid button instead of like having it play out. But until then, though, I will see you all around. Oh yeah, just tomorrow. Thank you for coming and thank you for watching the VOD. If I finally upload these, bye.